on the road to recovery, Castle Rock, Colorado. Live from Millville, New Jersey, I'm on the road to recovery. We're on the road to recovery in Morgantown, West Virginia at Mountaineer Field. And live in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I'm on the road to recovery. Here I am on the road to recovery from Berlin, Maryland. Hey, from Caseville, Michigan, I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery at Ann Arbor, University of Michigan. Recovery Army, we're on the road to recovery in Western Pennsylvania, Newcastle, with Vaughn Crisci. You know, too often we leave out that story of the family recovering, a parent recovering and recovering from the loss of a child while in recovery from addiction. It's a compelling story, one we have to share more and tell more. And I'm so glad I'm on the road to recovery with Vaughn Crisci.
Yeah, my name is Vaughn Crisci. I'm from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. And just wanted to share a little bit with you about my experiences with my children in the addiction. I lost my son, Sean, August 1st, 2014. I have a daughter, Colleen, that's in recovery. She's been clean for almost a year and a half now, God willing. And you know, this pandemic that we're facing is absolutely devastating. Not only devastating to the people in addiction, but devastating to the families. You know, we all forget sometimes that the people are left behind from this, the children, the parents, the brothers, the sisters. So, you know, to try to recover from this, I'm not quite sure how you do it. Or I wasn't. I shouldn't say I'm not sure. I am sure. I wasn't quite sure how to do this. But, you know, my strength comes from Jesus. That's where my strength comes. I had abandoned God several years ago. I thought he had abandoned me, but he had never abandoned me. He was always right there beside me. And I have found him again. And that's been my only salvation through all this, because, you know, when you lose a loved one to something like this, you don't get quite the same response as you do if someone dies, if they had a different disease, or if they were shot, or you know, any other tragic death. Which I'm not trying to say that this is any worse. A death is a death. It's horrible for any family. People stigmatize this so bad that you don't get the same response. You know, when my son died, I didn't have 100 people came over to my house and brought casseroles and, you know, everything else. It didn't quite work that way. But it's been very, very hard. It's a heartbreaking situation. Like I said, my only salvation has been my rebirth of my faith and my involvement in trying to help other parents and family members that are suffering from this, because I know your pain. It's been started by my generation. You know, this all started with the pills. And my generation is the one that started this. We didn't want pain. We didn't want discomfort, so we sought it out from the doctors. The pharmaceutical company preyed on this. They knew this. They very much made this a thing about money and not about human beings. And like I said, my recovery has been my involvement with trying to help people understand what this is about. Because, you know, I thought I understood addiction. You know, I've dealt with addiction in my own life when I was younger, and I've dealt with addiction through my children. And I didn't truly understand. I didn't understand the problem that we're facing today. And it's it's very, very important that we all become educated to what is happening with this pandemic in our country. We need to stop this. We can't continue to watch our sons and our daughters and our mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters continue down this path. And again, my daughter Colleen has been, as I said, has been in recovery for a year and a half, and she's been in rehab probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. And this is the only time that it's taken. And the only reason it's taken this time is because, in my belief, is she has found Jesus Christ. she has Jesus Christ in her life. And that's made a major difference in our life. That's what keeps her strong. And that's what's made a big difference in our life. We've become so close because of that. No, I'm not turning to God because I'm suffering. I'm turning to God because I need to pay back to God for what He has done for me and for my daughter. And the only way that I see that we stop this is with a spiritual foundation, a serious spiritual foundation. And I can't stress that enough. It's like I said, I've been dealing with addiction for several years. I can't even count the number of years that I've been dealing with this. My daughter has been through the rehab, she's been through the meetings, and don't get me wrong, NA and AA is very important also, but it's not the sole solution to what we're facing today. The sole solution is Jesus. I can't stress that enough. It's the most important thing that we have going for us. It truly is. And if you don't believe me, just try it. Just try it, and you'll see. I only speak because I want people to understand what this does to a family. I mean, if anyone's in suffering this and going through this with their family, I'm sure you don't understand where that person went that you love. Well, that person has been captured by the devil. This drug is strictly the devil's work, and it changes the person. It's not the person that you love. It's not the person that you raised. It's not the person that you've grown with. That person is still there, but we have to show them love. We have to show them kindness to bring them back. We can't enable them. We have to know the difference between enabling and the love. If we don't take this serious and start this now, I'm truly feared to what our nation is going to be. I mean, we've lost, the year my son died, we lost 47,000 people to this. In 2015, I believe the number was somewhere around 65,000. I mean, this number just keeps growing and growing and growing, and we just sit back. If this was, as I said, any other disease, Ebola, terrorist, coming to our country and doing this to killing our brothers and our sisters and our sons and our daughters, we would be in an uproar. We would be marching on Washington, D.C. We would want answers. We would want things done. But yet everybody sits back. Everybody says, yeah, it's a horrible situation. This is a bad thing. We need to come together. We need to stop hiding behind our doors and putting our heads in the sand and thinking someone else is going to solve our problem, that our government's going to solve our problem, because they're not. We created this problem. We created this problem because of our self-centeredness, our self-desires, our self-wants. If we don't let that go and start thinking about our fellow brothers and sisters, we're in sad shape. It doesn't matter who our president is, doesn't matter what our Congress is. We have to do this. We, our communities. So, to just recover overnight, it's not going to happen, but it's slowly coming with my faith in God, with my relationship with my daughter now, and with my involvement with this ministry and getting the word out. It's helping. It's helping me know that if I can reach one person, if this message that I am putting out there reaches one person, then that's all I can ask. I hope it reaches more, but if it reaches one person, then that gives me joy. That helps me to recover. Again, if you don't seek the recovery, you sit in that, so to speak, garbage your whole life, and you still have that inside of you. You have to bring it out. You have to be willing to talk about it. You can't hide. You can't be ashamed. I mean, I was never ever ashamed of my children, my son or my daughter. Never was ashamed. I was afraid. I was scared. But I was never ashamed because I knew who they were. I raised them. I knew who they were. But you spend so much time in their addiction, trying to fight it, waking up in the morning, waking up in the middle of the night, wondering where they're at and what's happening. Your life becomes so crazy that you don't take time for yourself. And it's important. It's important that we as parents come together. I would like to see a coalition started with parents that are suffering from this, because you're not alone. You are not alone out there. I felt I was alone until I found that there are people that care. So you are not alone. You are not alone. God is there for you, and we are here for you. So you're not alone. So please seek the help from your pastor, your priest, your reverend, whoever. It is of great benefit, because your spirituality takes a big hit on this because, you know, myself, as I was saying, I sort of lost my faith in God because I didn't think, how could this happen? Why would God allow this to happen? Well, God didn't allow this to happen. God was always there for me. Otherwise, I never would have made it this far if God hadn't been there for me. And my daughter never would have received the treatment that she's receiving today. So it's very important that that you open your heart and open your mind and speak about this. Don't be ashamed. Don't let the society put the stigma on you. Step forward and seek some help, please.
Hey Vaughn, thank you so much for spending time with us, for sharing your story. I'm very grateful for not only your passion, but just your incredible resolve to share your passion with us and with other people. Too many times we forget to talk about the loss of a child as a recovery story, and not only being in recovery, recovering from the loss of a child, and you inspire other people to find their path and their journey to recovery. I appreciate these opportunities. On to my next state. I'm Michael De Leon on the road to recovery. We'll see you on the next episode.